Hello guys and welcome. So in this video I wanted to answer the question, what is Final Fantasy VIII? This video is aimed at people who know nothing about Final Fantasy VIII and have always been curious. Hopefully it will serve as a good starter guide for you. So obviously Final Fantasy VIII came after Final Fantasy VII. We're all talking about Final Fantasy VII right now. But at the time, when this game came out in 1999, I actually liked Final Fantasy VIII more than 7. Sorry to say. I just really did. I thought it was a big step up. And better than 8. I thought I liked 9 more than 8. But we'll cover Final Fantasy 9 in a separate video. So, Final Fantasy 8 is obviously one of the main Final Fantasy games. It was developed and published by Square Enix for a PlayStation 1. It was originally released in 1999. And it's set in an unnamed fantasy world with science fiction elements. The game follows a group of young mercenaries led by Squall Leonhardt as they are drawn into a conflict sparked by Ultimecia, a sorceress from the future who wishes to compress time. During the quest to defeat Ultimecia, Squall struggles with his role as leader and develops a romance with one of his comrades, Renoa Hartley. So, what I'm going to do, guys, as part of the What Is series, I'm going to link as many useful resources in the description down below to the official website, to this trailer, to the Wikipedia, and so on. Now, to give it some extra context, basically, the game was remastered for PlayStation 4. As you can see, this is the remaster trailer, and it came out quite recently. Though I'm not sure the remaster was particularly well received because, like, it was just an upscale. It wasn't like a remake or it wasn't anything like that. And even then, some people complained that it could have been remastered better. But I think underlying any sort of criticism of the remaster is that Final Fantasy VIII is a great game in its own right, and I think it deserves all the attention in the world. And at the time, this sort of motion capture of this dancing and so on was groundbreaking technology for PlayStation 1. It was unbelievably incredible. Even if it was a mix of in-game graphics and CG, because that's all was capable on the PlayStation 1, like it was still like unbelievable to see. So now, as with everything, 20 years have gone by. These graphics are not all that anymore compared to before, but uh, I have only the fondest memories of this game. Now, the whole time traveling mechanic, it has left open a lot of debates about the story and what has actually happened and so on, to a point where some of the most one of the most famous fan made uh, conspiracies or theories was that Squall is dead throughout most of the game, Squall being the main character, to a point where Square Enix actually had to come out and dispute it because there was so much evidence backing up the fan theory. So, but anyway, it follows the same typical trend when it comes to the gameplay. The turn based, so all the way up until Final Fantasy X was basically turn based. It was only until Final Fantasy 11 being an MMO and then 12 onwards that the game started to do more of this sort of mix of turn based slash hack and slash, like the current ATB slash system we have in Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then Final Fantasy 13 went back to turn based, but I think now Square Enix is now pushing towards a more action-based combat, which they had in Final Fantasy 15 onwards, and that's probably just the way it's going to be from now on because the consoles are capable of a lot more freedom. So tell me in those comments down below, what do you prefer? Do you prefer 100% turn-based, or do you prefer hack and slash? And it's nice that Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example, is capable of doing both. But at the time, part of the reason why a lot of these turn-based games existed was because of limitations of the hardware at the time. So what I wonder is if they remake Final Fantasy VIII in the future, will they be able to implement it the same way as Final Fantasy VII Remake? So, and with the hack and slash, like, I would love to re-explore this world. And what was great about Final Fantasy VIII is that right at the very beginning of the game, for the first few hours, you're basically graduating from Balam Garden from university. So it's sort of calm the calmness before the storm. You're given a hint of what's to come and so on. Then there's the graduation ceremony where you can see them dancing around and so on. But then it's just endless war, endless fighting, endless exploring, endless conflict, right until up to the ending of the game. So, and I love that. I love that mechanic. It's sort of like it was to literally school you to get ready for what was to come for the rest of the game. So, the story of Final Fantasy VIII, I believe it's absolutely fascinating. It was a great, great game to follow Final Fantasy VII originally, and fingers crossed for a remake in the future, but not in the distant future because I don't want to die of old age before these things happen. So, but I can understand why they're putting so much emphasis on Final Fantasy VII right now, and they have done a fantastic job. So, guys, what we're going to very quickly do, we're going to very quickly visit the official website for this game, and we're going to see what's written on there. So, if you've never played Final Fantasy VIII, I'll already say it's definitely worth playing. But yeah, at the moment, Final Fantasy VII Remake is what every gamer should be playing. Even if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, you should check out Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, okay, here, let's go to the official website now. Okay, here it is. Like I said, link in the description. So this is for the remastered version of the game on the Square Enix site. You can watch this trailer that's been looping for a while. Now, overview functions have been added to ensure a more pleasant journey. HP and ATB will always be maxed out, and limit breaks are available to trigger at any time. Interesting. You can speed boost. You can turn on and off random encounters, but these are extras that they put in for the remaster. And following functions have also been added. So you can basically choose to make it as easy as you like. You can basically modify the game experience so you can have all items, all abilities, max level Guardian Forces, which Guardian Forces are the summons on Final Fantasy VIII, or have maximum gil, maximum magic, or limit breaks, or cards, and so on. So they had an interesting system in the game in Final Fantasy VIII where you could convert monsters into playable cards and then convert those cards into resources and items which eventually you could turn into the ultimate weapons. So if you have 100% knowledge of the game, you could basically get the ultimate weapons near the very beginning of the game if you know exactly how to do it and where to do it. So, and they also had a very interesting junction system, which basically it's basically like materia. You're junctioning spells to your weapons, to your attack, to your defense, and so on. So you have different resistances and so on. But again, if you do it really, really well, then you will one-shot enemies and or instantly defeat them and be resistant to everything and so on. So it was down to your knowledge of the junction system and working it out. Just like finding clever materia combinations in Final Fantasy VII. And also as well, when it came to earning gil, what was kind of different about Final Fantasy VIII is you were paid a salary from the university depending on your rank. And in order to rank up, you had to do exams. So, and again, you could always just get a cheat sheet or something, or if you actually have knowledge of the game, and get to nearly the max rank pretty much near the beginning of the game and have the maximum salary coming in. So it would be like every hour you would get a fixed amount of gil to help you just buy everything. Now, the story. So it says, in a world where an ancient energy known as the sorcerer's power is passed down through generations, the peace of the realm is threatened when the evil sorceress Idia takes power as ruler of the Galbaldia Republic. Squall, a member of Balam Garden Military Academy, elite mercenary for Seed, other allies from the Garden, and Renoa, a member of the Resistance, join together on a journey to fight against Sorceress Idia, who shows hostility towards the Garden. Oh. And then they have profiles of all these, all the different characters of the game. You have Squall, Renoa, Zell, Selphie, Cypher, then Zell here. And then you have Laguna, you have Quistis, and you have Irvine. So, obviously I know that because this is one of the games from my childhood. Now, and it, like I said, you could just click on each one and you could read profiles about each character. So yeah, so as I say, guys, I really, really love Final Fantasy VIII. I thought it was a great, great game. I definitely will always remember it. I was very excited when the remaster was announced, though I haven't yet had a chance to play it yet, because I had a lot of other games to play. But who knows? Fingers crossed for the future that they'll make a Final Fantasy VIII remake. You know, I would be all for it. And from asking around, I did ask a few of my friends. I think some other people would welcome a Final Fantasy VIII remake, but they would rather have Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy IX remade before it. So who knows? Maybe Final Fantasy VI remake. Nothing confirmed. We can only hope. Given they've done such an unbelievably fantastic job, 10 out of 10 rating for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. It gives high hopes for the future. That because these are great, great games. This is the reason why Final Fantasy has been going for so long, is because it's one amazing game after the other. Great stories, interesting worlds filled with such conflict and strong love between the characters, and there's a lot of love for the characters as well. Like right now, everyone is raving about how amazing Tifa looks in 7 Remake. And because now they're adding more voice acting to these games, then you add a sort of more level of interactivity with them. Because obviously in PlayStation 1 era and before, they didn't have voice acting. They didn't have the capacity to have it. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, that's... I could talk about Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy series all day, but I want to get back to Final Fantasy VII Remake. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there. You can watch the latest upload down there. Or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.